wanna be my girl? It's the Ron and Fez Show.
Just hanging out here tonight. We got an iPod we're giving out tonight. I wanted to TiVo this Frontline that's coming on tonight, and I forgot all about it, about the music industry and how it's dying. I think it's called like the day the music died, because so many record companies are having trouble now because, there's less places to get your songs played on the radio, less chances to introduce new music, and less people buying music as CDs because of news ways of getting them. I forgot all about that. Do they rerun the front lines? Like, is that like one of those things where they go to 3 o'clock in the morning?
I don't think they rerun those.
Now my life's a nightmare.
And I didn't TiVo anything tonight. I looked for stuff, and I go, there is nothing I want to TiVo.
Let me guess. One of the places you didn't look was PBS, though, right?
Didn't look at PBS.
Ever had a chance to catch it? No cartoons. Catch it early. My Cheeseface tells me that it was poorly reviewed. Thank you, Cheeseface. That's what my producer should be running and saying, and yet I can never get that out of him. Barbara, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Hi. So nice to talk with you, and thanks for making my drive home bearable.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
I'm going to take you back a little bit, your conversation earlier about bedwetters.
Yeah.
I grew up with a brother who is the oldest of 5, who was a bedwetter all of his life.
Is that right?
Clear through to adulthood.
Now, we were talking about that because there's a TV show on, or a TV commercial, that looks like about a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid talking about his bedwetting problems and how he's wearing these kind of big boy Pampers.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that that's a terrible thing to talk about.
Yeah.
It was not a bad thing in our family because we grew up with it.
Right.
But some funny stories go along with it, of course.
Give me one.
He joined the Army and wet the bed in the Army.
Wow, did he get discharged?
No.
He just wet. That's all.
He served his whole time. The funniest one, and sad at the same time, is on his wedding night, he...
And sad?
Well, it's funny.
What's the funny part?
Well, the funny part is the family laughed. The bride didn't care for it much.
Now, so he still does even now?
Yes, he does.
And what's the cause?
The cause is he's such a sound sleeper, and he dreams that he's in the bathroom.
You know what he should do? He should get hypnotized. I guarantee you we have a hypnotist that can cure this.
We got Don Friedman from Hypnotic Touch.
I guarantee you Don can cure this. What do you think, Fez?
Yeah.
Because definitely it's happened on a subconscious level.
Yeah, it's not a physical thing where he has like too tiny of a bladder, right? An underdeveloped one?
Not at all. And as a kid, my mother used to get him up in the middle of the night and walk him into the bathroom, and he'd still be asleep. And he would go to the bathroom. And stop the drinking, before going to bed.
Right.
All those things were tried.
Fezzy, I think it's hypnosis. We got to get into the subconscious.
How many nights a week do you think he's doing this?
From what I don't know as an adult, but from growing up, it was at least 3 or 4 nights a week.
Wow. What is it, Perry? No, Perry just came in.
Hey, this is so ironic. Actually, I had a little accident last week. I've been on some medication, and I had a dream that I was using, the restroom.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be reality. I actually did the bed.
But the medication, you're doing medication on your own. It's not like you're getting something from a doctor. You're partying.
No, not partying.
Oh, okay.
This is doctor stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just so nice, and it was in the dream. It was like the greatest relief ever. And it was just a beautiful thing, actually. So I wouldn't be too embarrassed about it. Every now and then, it's probably a good thing to do once in a while.
Why would it be ever a good thing, Perry?
It just
to wet the bed.
It was so.
Did you do it growing up?
I'm sure I did. I don't really recall any of it.
You don't recall anything that before you were 14.
Right.
That's how he's...
That's scary.
But it was. I do remember waking up and saying, and just stayed in it for a while. So.
Now, Barbara, do you think he'd like to be hypnotized for this?
Probably. He probably would try anything.
I have LSD also, and I think that could help. Now, I don't know whether it could help him with wetting the bed. It's just that I'm having trouble finding people to trip with anymore. Yeah. And I just try to tell them it's good reasons.
And I don't think the estimate of 1 out of 10 is exaggerated.
You think it's that high, 1 out of 10?
Man, absolutely. If you talk to any school teachers, the majority of them will tell you that, 2 or 3 kids in their class are bedwetters.
Now, does he have such a jolly attitude towards this as you do?
Yes, he does. He's not embarrassed by it because it's just something that, it's life.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
1 out of 10. Crazy numbers. Jason, you're on Fez.
Yeah, how's it going?
Cool, buddy.
I'm in my 30s, and I still occasionally have that problem. Not that often, maybe once every couple of years, but same thing as the other guy. I go to sleep, maybe exhausted because I've worked a lot or something like that, and I always dream I'm always in a public restroom standing at a urinal in my dream.
Yeah, pretty much like the guy from Wham. You're having that dream.
I didn't realize
George Michael dream.
I didn't realize that dreaming thing was so prevalent.
I guess why else would you go? Why else would you do it?
I don't know, but your guy on the show there who said it was a beautiful thing or whatever, or some amazing release. For me, in my dream, I'm always having a lot of trouble, like stage fright, that kind of thing.
I say, like Fez's problem, his real life problem.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I get really anxious in my dream, and then finally I'll wake up.
All right.
You and I should have a sleepover sometime.
I wouldn't mind.
Hey.
Yeah, wearing life jackets.
Some kind of bedwetters club.
I hear a contest somewhere in here.
Now, you're also whiz shy, aren't you?
Oh, very much so, yeah.
And this last guy was whiz shy. Maybe you guys, for whatever reason, you don't go enough during the daylight hours.
Well, I spend a lot of the daylight hours alone, and I have no problem going when I'm alone. I go quite a bit.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got 3 words for you. LSD.
All right.
I'm going to have you, me, and the other bedwetters. I'll take it together.
You're not a bedwetter.
I know, but I'm going to guide them through like the Dr. Timothy Leary Jr. that I am. Wonder Boy, I'm going to need some Radiohead albums, some incense, and a black light. And get to work on my group.
Do you need anything like
Just go away. No, I want to hear what you had to say. What was it? Because it was going to take forever.
Does it say a clipboard, anything to write down findings with?
What on a clipboard? I'm going to be tripping. It's the last thing I'm going to need. Get me a video camera.
How about we make it a cool thing and we all just start doing it? Like, remember the scene in Billy Madison? He tried to, tell the kid that it was a cool thing. You
know what I yelled out? Fake. That's the fakest scene that ever took place. Fonzie could wet himself and couldn't convince the other kids that it was cool. And for me, that's where Adam Sandler jumped the shark and he stayed jump.
Some reason it touched me. I felt touched when I saw that scene for some reason.
That may have been someone in the dark theater.
Ow. Sorry.
All right, Hefe, Josiah, me that you were trying to give out wet scenes with Cherry last night.
Oh, yeah, he had Porno Dan in, and they were talking, and right at the end, I forgot that I had a DVD in the car where we actually did some movies and tried to pawn it off, but for some reason, nobody wants to...
How do you forget that's in the car?
I actually saw them, water play things that he made with his girlfriend.
Yeah, we used to get into some crazy things, that Cherry and I, but you know what? I can't seem to get rid of these DVDs. I don't know what's the problem. Nobody seems to really care or want them.
You'd think they'd be bigger movers.
Right, if you guys want,
I don't think there's a big thing for any kind of yellow punishment. I don't think it's big on a lot of people's, hey, here's my favorite porn. Maybe I'm wrong.
Especially from Perry and Cherry.
Here's Matt.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I got some advice for stage fright. If you squeeze with your finger...
Doing that, it's going to turn into something completely different anyway. Then I'll forget all about what I'm there for and get into something completely different.
That wouldn't work for me. Trying to pinch? Nah. It's just not going to happen.
You couldn't grab it if you would. It was just off on its own. Goes off on its own. We probably ought to shut out of this so F.A. doesn't have a bad night. I don't want to hear about your habits, Fez.
It's already an any.
It's none of my business, and I don't want to visualize it under any circumstances. Ryan, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron and Fez, how you doing?
Cool, buddy.
Good. I had a friend who was asleep with his girlfriend.
Oh, that's so cool. That's really
great.
Didn't wake up.
pointed the fan at his girlfriend in the room and had an accident in the back of the fan.
It doesn't seem like much of an accident if you're pointing at the fan. It seems to me like you did it on purpose.
He swears he was drunk and asleep.
That sleepwalking is the worst. I think that's worse than even the bedwetting.
Yeah, I also sometimes will just wake up. Now, I have a bathroom right outside my bedroom door. Sometimes I'll just get up and go, like, into a corner and just go in the closet or on the floor.
And you don't even realize what you're doing. Or do you?
But are you drunk when it happens? I mean, I've always heard these stories of drunks getting up and...
No, I'm scared to leave my room when it's really late, and it's just a matter of opening a door, walking out, turning the corner, and you're in the bathroom. And I don't know what's up with that. I definitely have issues, I think, now, come to think of it.
Yeah, you have plenty of issues. You're like a maniac.
I'm afraid of bathrooms at night for some reason.
You're going to end up boiling and eating Loation boys. That's how weird your stuff is.
Can't get any worse. Bring it on.
No, we don't want you to become the cannibal.
Don't walk into the closet and treat it like it's the Abu Ghraib prison.
Get yourself a nice cookie there.
Oh, you know, I had one before.
You ate one?
Was it?
Yeah, Miss Tanaka.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a hold of some of those back in the day when I had the munchies, but right now...
You're completely clean now? You're off drugs altogether?
Absolutely, man.
You're off the drinking?
Drugs are for losers. Done drinking. I'm done doing everything, man, for real.
Are you on the steps?
Let's not get crazy now. It's just...
Because here's what I heard from your friend. By the way, is she already gone?
She's on vacation in Texas. She's coming back for about a week.
Yeah, she said that you claimed that you went to a meeting and they mistreated you, and I've never even heard of that before.
A couple of years ago, I used to go regularly, however you say that word, to AA meeting, and they kind of...
You're not allowed to use that word.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's anonymous.
Well...
That's one of the things.
They kicked me out.
So you went to... No one ever gets kicked out of out of one of those meetings. It doesn't happen.
When I told them that my, drug of choice was marijuana, there was lots of... scoffing and just like, that's not a problem. They kind of looked down like, you don't belong here. It was more like...
No, well...
Honestly, anybody out there who's gone to a meeting with a pot issue at one of those meetings really kind of... She agreed with me because she said it's happened to her as well.
Maybe you needed an NA.
That's where I need to be.
Yeah. But I never saw anyone at a 12-step meeting turn down anybody for any reason.
I wasn't turned down. It was just more or less I didn't feel as welcomed as everybody else did. And maybe it was just in my head, but it seemed...
Yeah.
It seemed like they didn't really consider that an issue, So...
All right, this from Squalish right here, saying you ripped this off from Half-Baked.
What's that?
Your story was in the Half-Baked movie.
I just watched Half-Baked the other night. I don't know what he's talking about. What scene?
I don't know. I didn't see the movie. That's the one with...
Brewer.
Yeah, Jimmy Brewer.
Or the funny guy, Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
Why be mean to Brewer?
Because he's got a lazy eye.
He's a buddy of ours.
Great movie, but I'm not ripping anything off. As a matter of fact, if you walk into my room in your bare feet, it'll be damp and it'll smell like...
All right, I don't want you to.
I thought it was the meeting story that you ripped off.
You know what? I was going to pull it. No.
Because Brewer went to a movie about a bedwetter.
Absolutely. There is a scene, and that scene is exactly how I felt, but that's the God's honest truth.
I'm sure you were high, you watched Half-Baked, and you thought it happened to you.
Nope. It happened to Lacey as well.
You were so high.
Somebody call in and back me up, please.
It's not going to happen. 866-277-4969. 866-277-4969. And as a matter of fact, when Lacey told me the story, I go, that just never happened. I go, that's him being paranoid again. And she goes like this. Yeah, I know, you're right, but I just want to help him with it.
Okay, I'm not saying... Great group of people, nice people. I'm not dissing them at all. I'm just saying... They didn't really, it's like when I told my stories of what was, screwing my life up, they were just kind of like, come back when you got some real problems,
But they might have meant that in a nice way. I mean, some people can go to a meeting and they only have an occasional drink. No one's telling anybody. It's not a matter of who's doing best. But what you're saying is you need a support group for weed heads.
That would be great. But I would just be afraid that we'd all get together on our off time and try to, party. Because I met a lot of people in this recovery house I was in that I ended up partying with when we all left. So I'm doing good as long as I just stay busy and stay out of
You seem to be the one sabotaging everyone else's program.
I'm sorry. I'll
Jinxie.
stay in my room and never mind.
You just seem like you're on a short-term thing. The way you're white-knuckling it right now.
Absolutely not. I'm finished, complete. My attorney.
How many days?
I don't know. You know what's weird is my memory is completely the worst it's ever been. I can't keep track of days or anything right now. But I know I haven't smoked pot in almost since my court date.
How long would you guess, Smokey?
2 weeks maybe. 2 weeks, maybe 3. I'm going for the 3, although I just tested positive because they said I drank too much water. And the dilute level was too high.
Too much hydrogen was somewhere in there?
You know what he said? He goes, your THC levels are dropping, but you're drinking too much water. I said, hey, I'm drinking too much water because I'm too afraid to, go to the restroom in front of you guys. So it's just a vicious cycle. Now I'm probably going to go to jail because I'm afraid to pee in front of people. I don't know.
That's not against the law.
David, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that he probably misinterpreted. They really didn't tell him to come back when he wanted to talk about some real problems. They wanted him to stop sharing superficial stuff and talk about some real issues, because that's what really is what's bothering you. They don't want you to come in there and say the cat jumped up on the coffee table and knocked over the ashtray. They want to know some issues. That's what they were.
Maybe you weren't sharing deeply enough.
Oh, no, a lot of times I don't share at all. I just kick back. But when I do, and, I was in this house. I lived in a house with about 12 other people for about 2 weeks. And I had to get out of there because I just felt like everyone else's problems was way deeper than mine. They never told me don't come here or anything like that. They never didn't welcome me. They just made me feel like my problem.
So you were having meetings with the same people that you were in the house with, right?
We lived in a house, and every day we would go to 5 meetings at separate places as a group.
Okay.
We'd all pile into the van, and we'd go to this place for the early bird meeting, the lunch meeting.
And a baseball game.
Right. All right, here's a place in D.C. that is open for marijuana people. I got this from Squall. You'd think it would come from our producer, but it didn't. It's Marijuana Anonymous, and you can go there. Fellowship of men and women who share experience, strength, and hope with each other that we will solve our common problem and help each other to recover from marijuana addiction.
Yep.
All right, now you have a group of people, because I'm telling you something as your friend, bro. I know you. You can't do this on your own, and you can't do it with these chicks who look up to you like Squeaky Fromm looks up to Charlie Manson.
You know what? There's no more chicks. That's the first beautiful step I had to take. I can't conduct any kind of relationship with anyone until I get my life in order. I have no craving for marijuana. I am done with it. I will never smoke that stuff again. It's horrible. It damaged me. I mean, I'm a complete retard now because I abused it for 10 years, and people think it doesn't do damage. And
so do you want the MA?
That's not the only thing that you've done, though. You've done all drugs.
I have. Well, not all drugs. I've never done heroin or anything like that.
You're missing it, then. It's a shame you quit before you really got to the good stuff.
Never liked the coke. That made me just...
No, you? No. Even more paranoid?
Yeah, it was just... my drug of choice was marijuana. That was it. I really don't even drink that much, but when I do, I don't stop drinking until I'm just out on the floor.
Just a mess.
Yeah. So, but I'm done. I seriously don't want to do it anymore, because it's just a hassle, man. It just ruins everything.
All right, so about how long are you clean and sober?
I'm going to go ahead... Oh, does a beer count? Because I did have...
Yes. All right, beer counts.
Well, then I had a beer Friday night. But, that's a big step for somebody...
No, you haven't taken the first step. You've held on for 4 days, but you haven't taken a step yet.
My step is stay away from the marijuana. Alcohol never really was too much of a problem because I don't even like it, really. I'll just do it if there's nothing else around.
Didn't you just say you drank until you were in a mess?
I haven't done that since I was carted out of the WJFK bathroom months ago.
No, not true. You were a mess here in the parking lot weeks ago.
See, the memory thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last night that I was really... That's my last night of being drunk and intoxicated to that point. The other night I had a beer at dinner. Everything was fine. I didn't ask for any more. Boom. I don't want anything else. I don't want no beer. I don't want no pot. I don't want no nothing. No chicks. Nothing. It's bad for you. It really is. I'm not allowed to go to the district anyway unless it's a court case.
You know what? You're used to probably talking to parents and judges. This stuff isn't getting over with me and Fez. We know you.
You know what?
I've just started new, and I'm doing it by myself. It ain't working on us.
You know what? I absolutely know that I'm not going to be able to continue. I do want to eventually get into a group, but I just can't do it right now. I want to be clean when I go into these groups so I can take the intake more. Right now, it's just going to...
Yeah, that's what they always ask for. Clean up and then join the group. You know what? Lose some weight, join Weight Watchers. You don't want to show up until you're in perfect shape.
That's a whole other...
You know, no, I'm not saying...
You're doing it backward.
I'm doing it as a joke, not that you're heavy. What I'm saying is no one would ever go, I really have to work out before I join a gym.
I hear you. Well, you never see any really fat people in gyms, though.
Yes, you do. You don't go in gyms. You have no idea who's in a gym.
All right.
You would be just as shocked. It would be you would know your way around a gym the way you know your way around a church, like the lights were out.
Nope. You're absolutely right. I apologize for even not going there. All right. What do I do then? You want me to go to this? I'll go to it. I say I take the DAT recorder. I make a bit out of it.
Can't do that.
No, I would never allow that.
Actually,
we're not allow that. We're talking about you. We're talking about you, Perry.
We're talking about us because I'm not the only weed head out there. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there in the same boat. Maybe we could all go together like a field trip.
I got to tell you the truth. Out of all the drugs, marijuana is one I never, I could always have taken or left. I wasn't really thinking that it was even all that much fun.
I thought it was the greatest thing, but then... you just step back and you see what a retard it makes you. It's insane, man.
My thing is, when I wanted to do drugs, I wanted to do drugs.
See,
I wanted to be drugged.
You didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
All right. It was just pot, okay? Sorry.
No, you did a lot of drugs. You did a lot of drugs.
I did a lot of LSD at one point, but that was just a summer.
You did a lot of downs? We've discussed downs before.
Downs?
You were on pills the way Fez is now.
You know what? For the very first time I've started on this medication, I've never been a pill head or anything like that. Never taken a pill, nothing like that. But I've just recently begun, and I'm afraid I may be starting a new addiction with Xanax, but...
There, you're on Xanax while you're telling us that you are drug-free.
But that's not off the street, that's medicine.
It doesn't matter where it's from. A drug is a drug.
Makes me...
A drug is a drug. Go home. All right, we got to take a break. 866-277... 4969 866-277-4969. Still giving out that iPod later on tonight. You want to stay tuned for that? It's the Ron and Fez Show.